Welcome all for the second live interaction session on learning analytics tools. Today we have another TA, Vishwas Bane. He's a senior research scholar in our department. So thanks again for continuing the course till the last week, and all the best for some of you are writing the exam around 1,000. People have registered for the exam, more than 1,000. So all the best for all of you, and prepare based on the assignment questions and try different combination of assignment questions. That would help. So as we did in the last live interaction, we'll go with the three-part agenda. First one is the common questions we observed from the discussion forums and the Google form. Then we will go with the questions asked in the Google form we followed, right? We followed the Google sheet. Then we will ask if you have any questions, please add the question in the chat window. We'll answer those questions. Okay, so the common questions you can help us.
The Google form or
discussion
okay.
forum.
So
let's have kind of.
Yeah. So the first question is from discussion forum by Srinanda. It is.
Tell the question.
It is the. It is a question regarding week 11, question number 8 in assignment. I'll read the question number 8, which is of the following data can be collected using eye tracker. There were different options. I am reading the options: eye fixation, saccadic eye movements, raising and lowering eyebrow, raising and lowering eyelids, and last one is pupil dilation. So the correct answer learners are expected to select, and this is MSQ type of question, multiple select. So the correct answers are 3. We can collect using eye tracker. First one is eye fixation, second one is saccadic eye movements, and last one is pupil dilation.
Yeah.
So the learner is asking that as per her reading and something, she is saying that the eyelid closure and estimation or eye openness data can be also retrievable, which is actually wrong from our point of view. So we'll discuss this.
Okay. So when we talked about eye tracker, right? So I think we were talking about the eye trackers which we are connecting to a laptop. So Tobii Eye Nano Pro, it's 90 Hz or 60 Hz eye tracker, or we can use eye tracker from the web camera, right? So when you use those eye trackers, what we know where the student is or the participant is fixating, and the distance between these two fixation can be called as saccods, right? Saccade length and saccade amplitude. So those are the parameters we get. And we can get the pupil dilation if you have a nano or research level eye tracker. Closing and opening of eyelid is not possible in the level of eye tracker we use in education. It might be possible in the studies where they use 1600 Hz, so there's eye tracker where you have to keep your face fixed and not moving, and there's a camera on all those your locations like eye gaze and the pupil diameter. That is possible. But the eye tracker which we shown or we discussed in our class, in a course, basically it's about a single camera with the 2 IR lenses projecting the light on your eyes pupil, then detecting that angle. So it is not possible to detect closing and opening of eyelids. That's why we did not discuss that in the class. So that is not possible in the current eye trackers we use it.
And the doubt learner has raised was, this question was not specific to LA, but as our course itself is learning analytics and the tools and the methods regarding that. So the question, the context is already said that the recorded sessions and the practice assignments are regarding learning analytics also, means only. So there are multiple methods with the same and some different difference in the names in other software fields also, in machine learning and data science. But in learning analytics, we use some kind of terms with different meaning. So the context is learning analytics always, as this course itself is a learning analytics. So I think that is addressed. Shall we go to question number 2? So this question is from a discussion forum. It was again a question in the assignment. We have given image from a video detection algorithm. Say multiple students are sitting in the classroom and the learner is looking at multiple students' images in the classroom, and the learner is asking that please help me understanding micro and macro features in general and what comments regarding eye pupil. So can we say that the microfacial features below in the image showing is correct, and the macro facial features showing in the above image is correct? So he's trying to get understanding about micro and macro features in learning analytics.
So I don't understand. Is it micro and macro features in facial expressions or in general learning analytics? See, if you're talking about facial expressions, then we have to think about, is it a micro features or macro features? So if you think facial expression, there are several action units considered, right? So in order to locate each action unit, there's kind of a micro features has been used. For example, I think we talked about FACS coding, facial analysis coding system, right? Where we are able to identify different action units like eyelid, inner eyebrow or outer eyebrow. Those things has to be located. To locate those things, we need a micro features. But what we emotions or the basic emotions, or it can be the learner-centric emotions like a boredom and frustration. So that is the level we use in the so it depends on the levels we use. That is the thing. I think there's no direct answer that micro is just, it depends on the context. I cannot go into classifying into one particular thing. But I think we don't cover those macro in our course, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we don't cover because there's a reason for it, because it's very dynamic and it depends on the context and such question we ask. But yeah, in LA, we have 3 different levels: micro, meso, and macro.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I think in the chat also. So shall we go to next question then?
Yeah.
So this is a third question from discussion forum itself. There was a question in week 8 assignment. It was regarding predictive analytics in education domain and application of predictive analytics in educational institute specifically. So we have given, it is again a MSQ type of question, multiple select. We have options were given was it is helpful to the owners of the institute to predict the rank of an institute among different competing institutes. Second option was helpful to the learning content developers to provide adaptive content. Helpful to the instructors to adapt their teaching strategies. Then helpful to the learners to provide feedback and suggestions and provide and avoid failure in the learning goal. So second, third, and fourth were the correct answers. And question was predictive analytics in the educational domain is helpful for or to. Then second, third, and fourth was the correct answer. And the learner in discussion forum is saying that option 1 should be also correct because education domain includes learner's point of view, and administrator's point of view, teacher's point of view, then first option should be correct. So this is the learner's argument.
Okay. So the question is like, we call about predictive analytics and learning analytics. I think we made a very clear distinction in the very first class that what is academic analytics and what is academic analytics and what is learning analytics itself. When you say academic analytics, which captures the data from the higher level, for example, the data at the institute level, the district level, all those things. But when we're talking about learning analytics, we're talking about prediction. Of course, the learning involves different stakeholders, which as administrators, researchers, students. I totally agree. But when we say learning analytics, we try to restrict here. This identifying the rank or the business intelligence, also identify rank or the student's overall performance, it's considered as a business intelligence as of now. So that is the issue. I think we don't need to discuss the assignment questions.
Yeah.
The question will be generic, not assignment question. I have no idea.
No, they've raised the same thing in the discussion.
I don't know assignment questions.
Yeah. Okay. So
Good.
that's all from.
Okay, so let me talk something from the sheet. No, fine. The sheet is also very generic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got the very generic question in the sheet. For example, what is the research areas in LA, right? So voice is not clear.
Voice is clear.
Okay. So let me start again. This is since last week. I think will be you covered the 12 weeks. I want to give a overall what has happened in the 2 days. What actually happened in the 12 weeks in the course. In the very beginning, we started with what is learning analytics. We call learning analytics as from the definition we took it from the Wikipedia and from the LAC conference. The learning analytics as the analysis, collection of data, analysis, measurement, in order to understand the student's learning processes in the context so that we can provide information better or provide the learning content better. But we did, in that it includes two parts. One is collecting the data, analyzing it, and also providing the feedback. But in this class, we did not talk about any providing feedback. That's a reason for that. And that providing a feedback is separately another course of creating how to provide, in fact, the informed feedback to students. What kind of feedback would impact the learners' learning? That is a separate course together. So then we took an approach of what is analytics in general. In analytics in general, into 4 different types. It is, we kind of collect data: descriptive, diagnostics, predictive, and prescriptive. So we used that particular general definition of analytics applied into a learning domain. That is what we did. While doing this, we kept this prescriptive analytics away. We only used the 3 mode of analytics. We started with the descriptive analytics. In the descriptive analytics, we had questions like we talk about what kind of data we can collect in the online environment, in the normal environment, those kind of questions we had. After collecting the data from the environments, we had questions like how to represent them. Can I use this particular format? And we kind of given the basic idea of all these things. Like we're not even talking about the advanced or the abstract level. We talked about a core level. What is the data should be? What kind of visualization can be used? I would request all of you to go and explore more visualization techniques and how to use it. Look at the latest techniques to, to represent the data, and that visualization technique can be useful or not. After doing that, what we did, we moved to diagnostic analytics. In a diagnostic analytics, we talked about correlation, why correlation is important, and why you start asking questions when somebody say correlation is 0.8. It is good as 0.8, but is it a linear data? Is it a non-linear data? What is this, the strength of it? All those questions not available in the correlation. After asking those kind of questions, you need to ask questions whether the data is balanced, whether the data is processed. All those questions you can start asking and looking at the data. Then we can do some of pattern mining. Then you can do the process mining. I hope you learned the tools, how to do the pattern mining, what is the process mining. We explained those pattern mining and process mining. Then we left, for you to explore if you want to do more on association mining or more mining algorithms, up to you. Then we talked about briefly about few ML algorithms. What is ML algorithms, supervised and unsupervised algorithms. Then we talked about how to apply those algorithms using some tools like Orange or some other tools. So those up to a descriptive, diagnostic, predictive. So we stopped it there. So what is that? Why we took the other different data? The learning is not just the student interacting with the system. Student interact with the system. While interacting, we can understand the student's learning behavior from the log data. While interacting system, student also gives a lot of expressions, posture, and gesture. In order to understand these, we looked at one of the mode of data is called affective computing, where we can detect the student's facial expression, can detect the student's learner-centric emotions using facial expressions. We used that, and we looked at that particular mode, and be able to create it. Then we're able to understand the students' affective states like boredom, frustration. Now you know data from both students' facial expressions, also the behavior. How can you combine it to understand the learning process better? Also, since the learning involves a lot of textual data, also students might produce more subjective answers. We kind of involved into natural language processing. In NLP, we introduced very basics with how there's NLP of actually basically with a diagram, basically lemma and stemma, stems and lemma. Then we talked about essay grading, something like that. Then we advanced to the talk about very briefly touched upon the word embedding. But recently in last year, the word embedding has been changed. I think nobody's using all this thing. Now people are using OpenAI, the very large models, large language models. So all this task has been very simpler now. But these understanding, arranging that the data into a particular format, vector format, or converting this each language into a vector is the basic for all this advanced topics. Now we have data from multiple channels. Also, we discussed about different other channels where we can use the data. All this data has to be combined, and we have to use it to provide some meaningful interaction. That is what we wanted to do. So that's the basic LA course. In LA course, we talked about what data to be collected, how to do the analysis. Then we provided the other channels of data. So what I would request all of you is that it's interesting to start with the interaction data and the facial expressions and looking at eye gaze or other data. But please look beyond this data and work on the new techniques, new topics that will help you, to understand and how to analyze the learner's learning processes when they're interacting with the computer-based learning environments. I think that's the all. And if any questions in the chat, I think I don't see questions. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can post. We'll wait for a couple of minutes. If not, all the best for the exams. And yeah. Why is it?
I don't know.
Continue.
You can give an instruction regarding final exam session.
Your instructions.
Mutual instruction which we give on this.
I don't think so. We don't have it.
Okay.
You are instructions.
If you have any technical questions such as or logistical questions such as hall ticket and any other questions regarding exam grading and all, because usually people ask who are going for the first time, such as negative marking and all. I don't think so there is any negative marking in the exam. So we have some question in the chat.
Yeah. You finish it, definitely.
Yeah. So there is no negative marking in the final exam. Okay.
So I think the logistics are the marking all handled by NPTEL team, then they get a better answer if you ask questions over there. Okay. Okay, so thank you. I think what she's saying that In terms of available eye tracking device in the market, wearable ones also, the reference I had shared were Tobii itself. Eye openness is possible, right? Okay, so we use Tobii. Basically, we use Tobii XR and Nano Pro. Also, we use the recent ones by Pupil company where we wearables. So, and in our class, we don't use the wearable ones from Tobii. We never had used it, but we always use the one strips which is connected to the laptop. The wearable ones we use from the pupil eye. We are not able to detect
eyelid.
the eyelid closure as of now. Maybe the Tobii would have able to do it recently. If that case, we stand corrected and we will check it out. Since you shared the link, we'll check it out. Maybe if possible, no, is it which week it is? Too old. It's then no. If it is too old question, then it's not possible.
Week 11, question 8, and the link.
No. If it is 11, then we can check the questions and we can do the grading adjustment, right? That is what I was asking. Okay. So no. Actually, from 2000. Okay, so I will check the paper. But as of now, the devices we have in 2020, we are not able to detect it. That is the thing. If they're able to detect it with some new mechanism, maybe it's interesting. We'll check it. And if it is correct, we will stand corrected. We will check the grading. We'll adjust it accordingly. Thanks for pointing this out. So we use a software like iMotions, which just collects the data from the eye tracker. Then with this, the particular device won't provide anything. Okay, I think the paper have calculated the margins of highlight. That might be possible using web camera, but the eye tracker devices may not give that directly. But you will check the paper.
Option was regarding raising and lowering the eyelids, not calculating the margins.
We'll see. Okay, I think that's the questions. Thanks everyone, and all the best.
Would close.
Yeah, they will.
It's
Yeah, you can continue. Lens close.